one of the things I like to do on the weekends, the income hack, is I like to go to yard sales. Now, yard sales can be pretty hit or miss. Most of mine this season have been very much misses, but this weekend I had a huge, huge hit. Let me show you what I found. So, if you take a look in these boxes, these are Star Wars figures. Now, I've got them separated into multiple boxes here, but they all came in one box, and it was this big giant box that said Star Wars on it. Didn't really have any idea what was in there, what good stuff was in there. It was an older gentleman, and I asked him how much did he want for the Star Wars figures, and he said, "Make me an offer." So, a rule of thumb with negotiating when it comes to yard sales is always offer less than you're actually willing to pay, so you've got some negotiating room. So in my head I thought I'll pay 20 bucks for this box. So I figured I'd start at 10, he'd come up with 20, and then I would say, okay. So he feels like he won, but in reality, that was the price I wanted anyway. So I offered him 10 bucks and he said, okay. So what am I going to do? So I paid him the 10 bucks, and this is what I got. So today, what I want to do is I want to kind of walk you through the process that I go through when it comes to prepping these for listing. The whole purpose of this channel is to show you beginning to end how I do what I do. And so I've started you with what I got at the yard sale. Now we're going to walk through how to get them listed. So let's take a look at some of that. So the first thing you need to understand about Star Wars figures is they came in the original 1977 to 1983 set. Then they got re-released in the 90s, and then they got re-released with the new movies in the early 2000s. So the real value that you get is from the vintage stuff. Well, the way you tell vintage, and I'll just grab this one as an example, is you look on the back of the figure. And if you can see, let me see if I can zoom in. You can see right there that says 1980. So this is one of the original figures from the original set of movies. So this is going to be worth some more money. So all of these figures, what I've done here is I've basically broken them up into groups. This is the bigger stuff and the random stuff that I'm not sure how I'm going to list it. This is the easy to do stuff. This is the stuff I can find really quick on eBay. And then I've just broken it down into smaller lots. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is how I list these items. Now, I happen to be a huge Star Wars nerd, so I know who most of these figures are. Some I don't, but most I do. So when I don't know what I'm listing, let's say it's Matchbox cars or Barbies or something I really don't know exactly what I'm looking at, I'm going to show you a little pro tip. So I'm going to switch over to this view. So you can see this figure right here. I happen to know that this guy's name is Lobot, and he was in The Empire Strikes Back, the 1980 movie. But let's say you didn't know that. The best advice I can give you is to pull out your phone. If you don't already have this app on your phone, you're going to want to get it. But there's a Google app right there. And if you hit the Google app button, it's going to pull up Google, not the Chrome browser, but for some reason, Google has their own app. And in the top right corner of the app, there is this little camera icon. If you click on the camera icon, that will let you search by picture. So I'm going to take a picture of this figure. I don't know what it is. And watch what happens. You can see down here, it's going to come up with listings. I typically look for eBay listings. I'm not really seeing it here, but I do know, well, here's one. It just says that this is Lobot action figure, and you can see the gun that it comes with. Let's see, you can see that down there. So let's take a look at how I would find this on eBay. So I pull up my browser and I go to eBay, and now I know it's Lobot. So I'm going to search for Lobot, and I'm going to put Star Wars, just some things. I'm pretending like I don't know who this is. And I can see right here, here's vintage Lobot Star Wars action figure 19. So I'm seeing right here 1980 Hong Kong, 1980 Hong Kong. This goes back to what I said before, where the writing that's on the back of the legs is important. So I'm going to search for Lobot 1980 Star Wars to kind of refine my search into exactly what I'm looking for. And I could see $5.99, $8.99, $10.99, but these are all listings that are for sale now. The trick is you want to look for things that have already sold. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click on this option that says sold listings. And I can see here, here's one that sold on the 18th of September for $13.50, but it's got the gun. Mine doesn't have the gun. So I'm going to look for one that doesn't have the gun. Here's a 2164 with the gun. Here's one that doesn't have a gun, and it's 550 plus 425 shipping. So that's what, 975? Typically, as a rule of thumb, when I'm listing things on eBay, if they're less than a pound, I'll do free shipping because I'm shipping it first class mail, and shipping is no more than $5 usually. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. So I find that things sell faster uh, with free shipping. So I'm going to take this one. This one looks like it's going to be $6.50 plus $5 shipping. So that's $11.50. I'm going to list mine about $9.99. So the way I do my listings is this. I click on this listing right here. And in the lower right hand corner, lower left hand corner, excuse me, of the picture, there's a link that says sell one like this. So I click that. And what that's going to do is that's going to load up a brand new listing with all of the information from the sold listing already filled in for me. So I don't have to go back and redo all of that. Now, because I'm a store on eBay, I can click a category, which I've already created for Star Wars figures. You don't have to do that. I just do that so that when people come visit my eBay store, um, all the stuff is categorized. And then you put the condition is used. And then condition description shows up underneath of the condition. And this is for people who don't scroll down to the condition description section. They just read the top and they click buy or whatever. So what I will do in something like this is I will put, please review all pictures, all sales final. That just lets people know that, I'm taking a lot of pictures, and most Star Wars figure collectors are looking at lots of detailed pictures. So I will take lots of detailed pictures, and I just let people know that all sales are final so that I don't have anybody doing shady things. But I've never really had a problem with that. I just put that in there. You don't have to put that in there. Now, for photos, I'm going to leave that blank because the way I do my listings is I do all of my listing at one sitting, and then I take all the figures that I've listed and I take them into the photo room and I take pictures there. So I batch list and then I batch photograph, and then that way it just streamlines my workflow. So I skip all of this information, and then I come down here for the description. Um, I put two things, and this is all I ever put. I put from a smoke-free home. Thanks for looking. People want to know that their items are coming from a smoke-free home. Now, the person I bought it from was a non-smoker. We are non-smokers, so I can say that. If you have something that is in a smoking environment, there are ways to get the smoke smell out, but people like to know that they're buying things that are from a smoke-free home. So again, the fixed price, I don't do auctions. I leave things up until they sell. I put in a buy it now price of $9.99. I only have one to sell. I click off domestic returns accepted. I will typically accept returns even with that turned off. That just covers me in case somebody decides to do something shady. I'm very respectable when it comes to listings. I have 100% feedback on eBay, and I work very hard at that. But that just protects me in case somebody's doing something unscrupulous. I always do first class mail and free shipping. You can see right there. Now, when it comes to the packages, you can't list something until you have package dimensions and weight. The key things you have to have is how are you shipping it, how big is it, and how much does it weigh. eBay won't let you list without that. So I do all of that on the computer so that when I go in to take pictures, I literally take pictures and I'm done. So I just put in my standard box size that I always use, 9 by 6 by 5. I won't be using a 9 by 6 by 5 box for this, but I just put that in because it really doesn't matter unless it's oversized. For the weight, I put 4 ounces because most of these figures will be 4 ounces or less, and going less than 4 ounces doesn't save you any money, so I just put 4 ounces in there. And then that's it. I click Save as Draft. It gets saved in my draft lists, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to list the rest of them on eBay. And once I've done that, I'm going to take you into the picture room and we're going to show you how we take pictures. So I'm going to finish this up and I'll see you in about 2 seconds. Okay, so I'm sitting here. I've got, as you can see, I've got all 10 of the figures listed on eBay. So now it's time to take pictures. This is one of the reasons I keep them separate, because I can do all of that work in there and then I come in here to do all of this work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go right down the list and start taking pictures. So the first one is this little guy. So I will bring him up on the phone, and what I'll do is, because these are vintage, I take a lot of very close-up detailed pictures. So I'm just going to start snapping some pictures. We'll do that. And I try to take one from all sides. He's got a hair on him. I don't know where that came from. Okay, now that's done. The other thing that's very important to Star Wars figures is taking a detailed picture of the inscription so people can see what they're getting. And then I just kind of look around to see if there's any kind of imperfections that I want to make note of, because I have 12 pictures to pick from. So I will just take a picture of the hands so they can see. Let my phone focus again. And then I'll take one of the face. I'm going to turn this sideways. It's going to mess up the video, but you'll get the gist. And then I'll take one of the back. And then that's it. And what I'll do next is I'll just hit done. Let all those pictures upload. And I'll go back and list the item. Now that's done. What I'll do is I'll just go through and I'll do all 10 of these. And then once they're done, I'll show you the final step that I do when it comes to actually staging them and holding on to them so that when they sell, I can find them. So I'll take you back in the office as soon as I'm done with this. Okay, so you can see here I've gotten all 10 figures listed. The last piece of advice I can give you is this field right here that says custom label. You always want to make sure you use that. I have over 400 items listed as of the recording of this video, and finding one of those items would be impossible if it were not for this custom label field. So what I will use the custom label field for most of the time is what bin do I put things in. You saw my bins A1 through A8. If I put it in bin A1, I'll put an A1 there. In the case of Star Wars figures, I have a lot of figures that look exactly the same to the untrained eye. My wife is not a Star Wars nerd, and she does all of my order picking and packing for me. So for her to say, what's an Admiral Akbar, or it's in bin A1, well, I've got 50 Star Wars figures in bin A1. So what do you do? So in this case, what I do is I've created a process where I can individually label specific items. And let me show you that. Now, everyone's process is going to be a little bit different. Because I've got some extra tools and technology under my belt, I can do some things, but you could very easily just come up with your own scheme that makes sense for you. But what I do is I maintain a spreadsheet of all the Star Wars figures I've got listed. And what I do is over here in this column C, I give each individual figure a label, 18, 19, 20, so on and so forth. And what I do is I write that label on the bag, and I put the figure in the bag, and then I put it away for storage. So let me show you that. So 27 is the Ugnaught. So I will just baggy him. Done. So now he's 27. Okay, once I've gotten all the figures bagged, I make sure that the bags and the figures will match up to what I have on the spreadsheet. And then what I do is I go back to my eBay listings, and in this custom SKU field, I will put the bag name. So I just did the Ugnaught. So I will put in his bag number of SW027. And then I'll just go back and repeat this process for all the figures that I've listed today. So I hope this added some value. I hope you got to see a little bit behind the scenes of how I do things, and hopefully it's going to help you when you go out there and find a massive Star Wars figure deal or Transformers or BattleBots, whatever your your niche is or whatever you happen to be lucky enough to find. If you like this content, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so when I release new content, I am releasing content more frequently, and I am trying to show you guys every single time I do something related to the business, a little bit of behind the scenes. Also, if you wouldn't mind, like this video, just click the little thumbs up button, and if you don't like it, click the thumbs down button. Just tell me what you didn't like. Leave a comment below. And the dogs decide to start barking at the end of the video. Anyway, guys, that's a lot. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Take care. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.